to come to you today, this hot July afternoon, and kind of talk to you guys about what's happening in real estate and the more piece. So today we're going to kind of jump into a little bit of our real estate segment early, and then we'll wrap up with some regular news. We'll talk a little bit about what's going on in Cuba. We'll talk a little bit about what's going on in South Africa, and we'll talk a little bit about what that means for us here locally as well. So first, we're going to jump into this real estate. The FHFA just made an announcement that they're going to remove a fee that they added for investors looking to purchase homes and take advantage of conventional financing to do so. About 4 months ago, they rolled out a 0.5% fee that was being charged to investors. That fee has since really jumped the cost of buying an investment property and kind of put a monkey wrench in the plans of small investors. Small investors being investors like you and me, maybe looking to buy their first investment property, maybe looking to buy a second. And they made it more expensive for us to do so. And the National Mortgage Bankers Association went to bat for the consumer and actually had that judgment overturned. So they are removing that fee. Business is going back to normal for investors and new investors looking to buy. Before, we did not have any pricing available to investors without charging a point or more. And so now we have some options. So if you are looking to invest and buy a brand new property, please reach out to the Singleton Mortgage Group. Someone at our team will be happy to help you. That someone will take great care of you and will always treat you like family. So if you want to get in touch with us, you can reach us at 267-337-3157. Once again, 267-337-3157. And we're going to take the topic and roll it into a little bit more of a first-time home buyer discussion. I believe that first-time home buyers have the most available to them as far as programs and options and things of that nature. And today we're going to talk about buying a duplex or a multi-unit property as a first-time home buyer. So when you look to buy a home, most of us are looking to buy a home in a nice area where we're comfortable, where we're planning to put down some roots, or we're looking to buy a house to get out of a situation that we may find ourselves in. The cool thing about buying a multifamily property is it allows you to buy a home, to live in that home, and then rent a portion of the house out, which is a second or third unit, or maybe second and third unit, out to a person who's looking for housing. For example, let's say you buy a house for $100,000, and it's a duplex. I'm not saying you're going to find a duplex out there for $100,000 because they're getting farther and fewer between to find in that price range. But let's say we find something for $100,000 and it is a duplex. Let's say that duplex in that area, you can rent that upstairs unit for $900 a month. Well, for $100,000, your mortgage may only be $800 a month. So now, instead of having a mortgage payment, you can use the extra unit or extra units to cover your living expenses, thus allowing you to save and grow a stronger financial background or a financial foundation, I should say, to go forward and buy your next property. And then when you leave that home, when you move out or you sell it, you walk away better than you walked in. My advice is always to hold on to your multi-unit properties. You find that home for 100,000, you're making 900 in the upstairs unit, and the unit you move out of, you can now rent for 900 as well, and your mortgage doesn't change. So now you're walking away with $900 income versus just taking care of the loan. And so that's a great way to get your foot in the door as an investor, as a primary homeowner, and you still can take advantage of the FHA programs, the 3.5% down options, the low down payment options. Those are always going to be available to you in that ballpark. So I'm so excited to be able to give you that information. Not only that, but it allows you to springboard yourself into creating a solid real estate portfolio. Because guess what? You bought that house as a first-time buyer, and maybe you want to refinance the house and make it a conventional loan. And then guess what? You can buy another duplex with FHA financing with 3.5% down. So you have the ability to build a portfolio of multiple units for less than the normal 20% down per purchase. If you're smart about it and you strategically plan, I thoroughly believe that a person who may not have had a favorable start can actually get ahead. And so I think that's really cool. I think that's a really good way to build a portfolio, to build net worth, to build wealth, and then to take that and to move it on. Looking at my notes here, I'm sorry, guys. And so, I want to also talk to you guys about buying and renovating properties. So, we talked about the investment piece. We talked about first time home ownership. We talked about adding first time home owners programs and adding first time homeowner options and primary home ownership options and layering that with multi-unit properties. We had that conversation. We've had those options laid out. We've talked about those for the last few months. But I really want to talk to you guys about what happens next, right? What happens next? What happens after you've created the portfolio and you've built the wealth? Then what? What do you do? Do you cash out? Do you take that money and move and buy yourself a primary residence? And there's all kinds of avenues to do that. Do you take that money and invest in the stock market? Do you buy Bitcoin? Do you, what do you do? And so I want to preface this by saying that the world is your oyster. I am not a financial advisor. I'm a licensed mortgage loan originator. I'm not going to give you investment advice. So everything that I tell you is just my opinion. Then we got that disclaimer out the way. I do think that you should begin to buy stock. I do think that you should begin to buy EFTs. I do think you should begin to invest in mutual funds. I do think you should begin to educate yourself on what platforms are the best. Do you invest in energy? Do you invest in clean energy? Start following trends. Educate yourself. Take another class. Learn something. I think those are the things that are going to truly help us to just keep growing as a community. As a community, it's important that we focus on building wealth. We focus on generational wealth. We focus on breaking generational wealth curses, because let's face it, most African American children start poor, right? I'm gonna say it again. Most African American children start poor, start in impoverished neighborhoods, and that is a statistical fact, right? But that's changing. The wealth gap is changing. I think about myself, and I'm using myself for an example, where, generationally, I was not born wealthy. I was not born well off. I was born to a upper lower class family, right? I'm not saying that we didn't have anything, right? We had a home, we had a place to live, we got government assistance, and we made it, But there are people that weren't as fortunate as me, and then to be able to transition into where I've transitioned to, it's important that we recognize that not everyone has the education or has taken the time to learn, and I thoroughly believe that has to start in the home. That has to start with our generation. And as we continue to build African American wealth and Latino wealth, I think that we must remember how it started, because you can't get where you're going without knowing where you came from. I want to take this time now and just say thank you to those who came before us, our parents, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, because every generation after we landed here has done better. Every single one. We are one of the most resilient peoples on the face of this earth. And that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I want to take a couple minutes now, just take a little break. I'm going to let some music play. We're going to come back after this break, and we're going to talk to you a little bit about the more segment of the show. Thank you.
Pull up in motorcades, I got a show today. It's all I'm trying to do. Hustle and motivate. Choppers a throwaway. Hustle the overweight. That's why they follow me, huh? They think I know the way. Cause I took control of things. Ballin' the solo way. And if you pattern my trend, I make you my protege. Lost in that soldier race. Don't know them days. Take you in back of the buildings. Make you expose your rage. Take you across the tracks. Make you explode the face. Now you official now, but you got a soul to save. I just been cooking that new. I'm about to drop in the few. Think if I call it the great, the people gon' call it the truth. I ain't really trip on the credit. I just paid all of my dues. I just respected the game. Got my name all in the news. Tripping on all of my moves. Quote me on this, got a lot more to prove. Remember I came in this fresh out the county with nothing.
I don't know this for nothing. No. When I count on you, but I don't do it for nothing. No, not at all. You, but my money ring, that you do. So I don't do it for nothing. No, not at all. I do like now.
You never read. Passing through stages in life, through the ups and the downs, like it's all just another test. Live by the rules like a fucking breath. I got respect in 100 sets. Too many chains, need another chest. Playing no games if it wasn't chess. Come from that cloth that you couldn't stretch. Come from that circle you couldn't text. Heavily pressured and under stress, even though they show up, we was a mess. Honest intent, blame to the left. Judge a young by their address. Left knew for sure is the bang is set. Living basic, I'm taking risks. What they said, I'm saying this. Don't waste your time, it don't make you rich, it don't mean nothing, so f them, let's make a grip. Double up, triple up, make assists. Ballin' so hard you can pay them. Lead to the lake if they wanna fish. Make sure them around you stick to the script. It should be written in stone. You should come visit my zone. Don't take my word, double check all of my flows. Ask them how hustle got on, but f what you heard. This for who walked down that road. Sold everything but they sold. Straight off the curb. Real rich as you nerds. Address the whom and make it so.
Don't do this for nothing. No. When I count on you, but I don't
All right. Welcome back to the show. Once again, this is the Real Estate and More Show with your host, Hakeem Singleton. And I think my co-host, Mr. Matthew King, just jumped on the line here. Matt, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Matt, what's going on, sir? How are you?
Man, I'm blessed, man. How are you?
I'm good. So I just wrapped up the real estate portion of our show. I want to give the folks an update on what we have going on as far as the scholarship is concerned. I think we're in the final stages of selecting the winners.
Yes, we are.
Talk a little bit about it.
Okay, so we're down to the final 15 students.
Wow.
10 of which will win a scholarship this year. And I'm going to talk to the team to see if we can do something for the other 5 students as well who may not win a scholarship. We originally started off with 92 applicants. This year was especially tough, trying to figure out who's going to win. I'm so grateful for the volunteers who read through the scholarship and helped with this entire process. It was a great team effort because the students really stepped it up this year. Their applications were amazing. Some of the photos and the way that they used the Dreams Too Big hashtag was great as well. It's just a really exciting time because we were talking about this since February, maybe?
Yeah.
And now it's all coming full circle. And I'm looking forward to launching we're looking forward to launching multiple fundraiser opportunities to jumpstart next year's scholarship fund. Can't believe we're talking about that already, but the work that we put in is actually just coming full circle, and I'm looking forward to just helping and to supporting a lot of these students that are pushing towards their goals. So that's where we are with that right now. The announcement for the winners will come out on August 1st. Just really excited about everything that we've been doing, though. It's been a great time of year to try to push through. Even through the pandemic and everything, we still trying to make things happen. We still were making things happen.
Absolutely, man. And so I want to take a second as well, just to kind of pay some bills and give our company some love. I want to give a shout out to one of our big sponsors, Singleton Mortgage Group, which is my mortgage group. Singleton Mortgage Group. You can look us up on Instagram, Facebook, all of that good stuff. We can be reached at 267-337-3157. Once again, that is Singleton Mortgage Group. And we can be reached at 267-337-3157. Matt, let's talk a little bit about Team King. Tell them how they can reach us.
And real quick, before we switch over to Team King, did you tell them your Instagram account as well?
The Instagram handle is It's The King Show, and it's ITSDAKEEM Show. It's The King Show. A lot of fun stuff we share on the Instagram page. A lot of culturally relevant things we share on the Instagram page. Some motivation. We feel that motivation is it has to be a part of our makeup. It has to be a part of our DNA. That's why you hear our theme song is Hustle and Motivate, because you have, if you're not motivated to get up and get off your butt and do something, if you can't motivate yourself, if you're not in a place where you can be motivated, we have to get you there. And so hopefully some of the content that we share will light a fire, spark a match, and get people up and active. So Matt, thanks for that plug. Where can we reach Dreams Too Big? Where can we buy Dreams Too Big? Where can we reach Team King Brand?
If anybody wants to reach out to the brand to support, to purchase any items for their next trips or travel, or if you want to get any items for any trunk parties that are coming up, everybody can go to dreams2big.com, and that's BREAMSTOOBIG.com. And if you want to get additional information, there's a slide on the bottom of the page where you can subscribe and get any type of discount notifications before they go out to the general public. And also, if you want any updates about additional scholarship opportunities and potential internship or job opportunities, you can also sign up and subscribe as well. And my Instagram is Team King PHL. That's TEAMKINGPHL. And on that page, you will see any updates for new items, and you will also see the winners from this year's scholarship opportunity that we provided this year. So those are the best ways to reach out. And I look forward to hearing from anybody, working with anybody, and looking forward to the next set.
That's big. That's big. That's good stuff. I like to shout out our companies like we just did. Not something we're 100% comfortable with still. Just because we're humble guys. We do share what we need to share to help push the agenda, to help create credibility and validate ourselves in your eyes. So thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for the love. The messages that we receive after the show are always so empowering and so motivating. So thank you guys. Thanks to the listeners. Thanks to the Facebook commenters. Thanks for the callers. We appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
And hello?
Yeah.
And I just wanted to just ask you one thing as well.
Sure.
I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to even get on this platform. And we learned a lot from the listeners and from the feedback that we received over the month, because this is not something that was comfortable nor fun. But now it's become both, you know? It's become something that we look forward to and truly enjoy. And I can't wait to see what's next. It may not be on this platform, but the information that we use from what was taken from here and whatever the next chapter holds, it's always fun and exciting to take on new challenges and new experiences. Doing the same safe thing all the time gets you the same results that you always know that you can get. But when you push yourself beyond what you're comfortable with, it puts you to new levels. So that increases your hustle, and it also feeds your motivation. So it's like a twofold situation throughout this entire journey. And so I was truly excited about it and didn't want to just pass up that moment.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. That's a great segue to the next topic that I want to kind of touch on a little bit today. And that's the crisis that we're seeing right now happening in Cuba. And the reason is there's a reason that I wanted to talk about that on this particular show, because our goal is, of course, motivation and enrichment. You know, we as Americans, and especially as Black and brown Americans, we feel as though that we don't have a voice. No, we absolutely have a voice. To not have a voice is what's happening right now in Cuba. To see what those people are going through, literally being killed in the street for protesting. not being tear gassed, not being rubber bulleted, not being hit with bean bags and sandbags. People are being shot to death in the street because they want their freedoms. The government has shut off all contact with the outside world. They have no internet access. They've cut it off. So there's no way that those people can get their voice out. And so the reason I want to bring it up on our show is because everyone has a voice here. This is WURD Radio. We all have a word. We all have something to share. We all have a story that can help push someone to the next level. And I think it's important that we realize that we all have a word. We all have something that we can do or give to better our communities, to better the people around us, to push our children to apply for scholarships, to push our children to start businesses, to push our communities further, to empower our youth to purchase real estate while they're young in life, to empower our older people not to shy away from purchasing real estate, and to also educate them how to hold on to it. You know, we have a voice. We have a word. We can do these things. And the time is now to be loud. The time is now to be proud. We have an incredible movement happening that our parents and our grandparents are watching, and they're so proud of. They see what's happening. They see the Matt Kings and the Hakeem Singletons doing these things. They see us starting businesses, and I'm here today to say that the black business ownership is the highest it's been ever across America. Right now, there are more black owned businesses ever. That's amazing. That is us coming through a pandemic. That is us seeing opportunity to start businesses. That is us being let go from our jobs and telling the person that let us go, that's cool, you did me a favor.
Right.
That's clothing shops opening. That's jobs being given back to our community.
Yeah.
And so we need to take this momentum and keep going. Am I right, Matt?
You are. Yes, you are. Absolutely. Absolutely correct.
You know, I think that sometimes we become stagnant because what's right in front of our nose may not be what we want or what we saw for ourselves or what we even see for ourselves in this moment. But there's so much. If you think and dream big, if your dreams are too big to stay local, you won't. You won't. And that's one of the slogans on Team King brand shirts. And I tell Matt all the time, it's so much that phrase, dreams too big to stay local, is so empowering. It's so empowering. The people of Cuba right now are having those dreams. They're fighting back and pushing back because they want more. Mm-hmm. African Americans across this country are fighting back and pushing back because they want more. We're getting justice. We have more black and brown faces on television than I can remember right now.
The representation is heavy out here.
It's heavy. It's heavy. We pretty much are we are pretty much the sports in the area. Right? We are pretty much the sports in America. You know?
Oh yeah.
Know what I mean? We're the face of the Olympics. We are global. And it's time for us to act like it, to know our value, to not accept minimum wage for a job that our counterparts get paid double or triple for. It's time for our women to be respected.
Yeah.
There's another stat that I read. Right now, the largest portion of ethnicities graduating with master's degrees are African American women.
Oh, for sure.
What?
Definitely.
So I just want to sing some praises right now, and I want to ask a question to our listeners, and I want to get some feedback. So if you guys want to call in, that would be huge. Mike, our producer, man, if they call in, just write the names in and just let me know what names they're dropping for us. But we want to try and support a African American, a woman of color, in their business right now. So if you have a African American woman who just started her business or is in the groundworks of building the business, I don't want you to call in and give us the PPA treatment, or PUA, PP, whatever that money was called. I don't want that treatment. That. I want to be able to verify the business. I want to see a strong social presence, and we want to try and support someone. So if you have someone that you know in your heart is grinding and pushing forward, please call in. Please drop a name. Please give us a hashtag or Instagram that we can check out. And we want to bless somebody.
Anything, yeah.
Anything, and we want to support that brand. We're gonna shout out some of those brands on the radio today, for the next 20 minutes, and just give love back to you guys because you guys give us so much, right? Man, anybody you wanna give a big shout to right now, that's doing something big, and you wanna just show them some love locally?
Oh, definitely. So one of my good friends, Sophia, just started a program. Well, she's been in the work. She works a lot out Southwest, and she's starting a program to help young women get their license and driver's permit. So just went and got a car fixed. Getting the car worked on, and going to start letting these young ladies drive on weekends and the evenings. It's amazing. She saw a need, and just like our women do all the time, they see the need and they fix the problem.
Man, I never saw a black woman truly not jump in, and at least in my family, and I've seen, and in your family too, Matt. They're just so resilient. What's the name of Sophia's business?
I'll get it for you in a second.
Okay.
Hold on.
We want to give her a shout out. I want to shout out Trinity Property Advisors. It's owned by a dear friend of mine, Candace Presley. She is a real estate mogul at this point. It is a 100% black-owned business. She is the broker and owner of Trinity Property Advisors. I've watched this young lady travel to Florida to become a licensed commercial broker. She was already a residential broker. Get her master's degree, come back, and it's like she never left. She didn't lose a beat. She jumped right back into it, and is now making major moves on both fronts. And that is Trinity. Yeah, man, it's Trinity Property Advisors. It's just legit to see, exciting to be a part of and to support her business. We definitely help buyers from her office quite a bit, and so we just want to say thank you to Candace for supporting us, and we support her. We also want to shout out a big shout out to Jennifer Bennett over at Perfect Place Real Estate. Jennifer was the agent on my very first purchase. 2011. Really? Yes. And
wow.
She is still today doing it. She services a lot of our African clients, a lot of our African community in Southwest.
Mm-hmm.
She is a pillar in that community down there, an absolute pillar in that community. Perfect Place does an amazing job. They service the heck out of their clients, and they treat everyone the way I treat people. They treat everybody with love. And so, big shout to Perfect Place Real Estate and Jennifer Bennett. And I'm not getting paid to shout either of these companies out. And I know Matt's not getting paid either.
Nope. I'm getting paid by love, man.
That's it. That's it, man.
Yep.
Just love, lots and lots of love. And so I'm excited to share that. So call in, drop some names, and drop some hashtags, drop some Instagram accounts. We want to share those and spread love on those as well.
Definitely. Do you have the page up on Facebook?
Do I have my yes, I believe we're up on Facebook, yes.
No, the WURD page, just in case somebody commented.
Let me check. Let me take a look at it. Let me see if I can pull it up and see if I see any comments popping up there as well. It looks like I don't see any comments on the page there. So I want to make sure that we do catch any there. Okay. I did just read a comment that someone left, and I'm gonna share this on the air. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate you listening. He said he read some stats about and single family households are poor. So if you are a black child raised with parents who stay married, you are less likely to be poor. Single white family kids grow up in poverty. That's what came up in my research. That's very true. That's very true, and that is a big part of why home ownership in the African American community has to become more prevalent, because that stat extends to households as well, to home ownership. If a black family who has a mother and a father, or a two-parent household, I'm not going to say mother and a father anymore because that's just not the way things are. But if there's an African American family that has a two-parent household, the child and they own the house, the child has a greater chance, a greater probability of becoming a successful adult or a higher income earner, or they're more susceptible to graduating from high school and higher education than if you don't. Matt often talks to me about a student that he has that needed some help, that she got the help eventually. And I'm not going to tell the story, but I just want to touch that. There are so many young black boys and brown boys and black girls and brown girls that are struggling to find their way because they're not validated at home, or there is no consistent home.
Right.
Thank goodness the eviction moratorium is still in place. But once that eviction moratorium is lifted, we're going to see some people out on the street. And where do they go? Who helps them? Matt, I know you have some resources that children can go to reach out to get help. Can you talk about that a little bit for us?
And the craziest thing about it is a lot of the resources are associated with with the school district itself and some of the outside programs. And hold on, I'll pull up some for you too, and give me one quick second.
For sure. And while you pull that up, I want to just talk about why we talk so heavily about the community and about children and scholarships and things of that nature. I know you guys are like, scholarships again. Oh my gosh. It's important. It's important that our kids have access to this information. If it's not our scholarship that they apply for, There's so many. If it's not our help that they're receiving, there's so much help available. There's so much help available. If you have a son or daughter who has just come home from incarceration, there's so many back to community programs that are here to service and help people get back on their feet. One mistake doesn't mean it should cost you your life. One mistake should not cost you your life, and vice versa. One parent's mistake should not cost the child their life or their opportunity. You know, so we want to make sure that that's not the case. We want to educate about home ownership until I'm blue in the face. We're going to educate about scholarship until we're blue in the face. We're going to educate about motivation and self-empowerment until we're blue in the face. Because those are the pillars of our community. That is community. Community is uplifting the people around you and building a communal sense, a place where people can come and talk and be heard and understood on a higher level. And then not just that, but also to get the tough love too. Because sometimes you got to sit people down and say, listen, man, you messing up. Well, that wasn't the best decision you could have made.
That person holds you accountable.
Exactly, but hold them accountable in love.
Right.
Not to make people feel bad. That's the most important part about holding someone accountable. You know, acknowledge
and also
wrong.
Right. I mean, another thing is, even if you at the point where you feel as though you can hold someone accountable, whenever you're trying to give somebody feedback or some type of correction or guidance, you should have some sort of understanding of where they're coming from or what they're going through as well. So therefore, if you give an advice, even if it's unsolicited, you're at least in the right direction. And
Preach.
And you know, it's like a balance with it.
Preach.
That's important.
You said something that I want you to talk a little bit more about, man. Talk about some of that unsolicited advice.
I mean, sometimes I hear often when I tell someone, you know, I work in education, they say, man, I don't know how you can do that. I don't know. These kids are crazy or whatever they say. But they don't understand sometimes, too. You know, you can be a child walking through the city and people are just giving you advice left and right. But if you don't respect the messenger, you're not going to be receptive to it. If they don't, you know, if they don't know that you care, if they don't know the criteria, or they don't know where you're coming from with it, or if you're even way off base, that can lead to the smart comments back, the get out my faces, the, you know, get out of here, old head. It's a balance of timing, too. And advice is not always welcome. Some people may not want advice, but it's a timing thing and an understanding thing as well.
Listen, I am. If I listen to the advice of you know, people that were influential to me in high school or college, I wouldn't be in the mortgage business. You know, people said to me, "Oh, you need to get a. How is the job coming along?" This is when I was early in my career. How's the job coming along? Oh, the job is good. Okay, cool. You still you know at the mortgage company? Yeah, I'm still there. And you know you work on commission, right? Yeah. Oh man, you need to get yourself a regular job. You can't sustain your family. You never know what you're gonna make. How are you going to take care of your family? How are you going to do this? How are you going to do that? How do you plan to pay your bills? What do you think is going to happen when the mortgage business dries up? How are you going? You know, and those things can tear people down. That's why it's very important to stay motivated and to believe in yourself the same way in the light as you do in the dark. Because you have a dream, and dreams often happen when you're sitting at home by yourself, or you have a moment alone, and you're dreaming a dream. And when you share that dream sometimes, or people see you chasing that dream, they can't see what you see. They don't have your vision. Your vision is for you, and not for them. and my brother actually taught me this lesson that you can't people can't see what you see. Your dream is for you, because if they had it, they'd be chasing it too.
Right.
And
Seriously.
you can't be offended when someone doesn't see your dream. Or they and you know, if I had $1 for every time somebody said, "Well, how you still got your little mortgage company?" Don't put little in front of my mortgage company.
Right.
You know, don't put little in front of my dream, because my dream is big to me.
Exactly.
And
you got to protect it. You can't let nobody downplay it or disrespect it. You can't
absolutely, Matt. I know you are a big proponent of not sharing the details.
Definitely. Oh, and just to let you know, I did get the updated information for Sophia as well, who's doing the program down in Southwest.
Okay, talk about it a little bit. Share the information for us.
Perfect. So Sophia is the founder of If It Wasn't for Art. And that's an event that's put together all the time that allows students to showcase their skills and abilities. There's also a program called the POE program, the PO program, and it's empowering young ladies to take control of their lives by teaching them how to drive. That's what I was alluding to earlier. Also, the CEO of Builder of Community Civics, and on the side offers strategic planning and resources for the betterment of children, families, and communities. He does all of that. Like,
that's huge.
It's crazy. I don't even understand how much time is in a day.
That's huge.
It's definitely,
they say everybody has the same 24. It's what you choose to do with it.
Yep. And if anybody wants to donate or support any of those programs, it's her cash app is Sophia Poe. SOPHIA POE.
Good job. And a couple Instagram handles got posted here in the chat. You
perfect.
Impeccable. A woman's business on the Instagram is called You Impeccable. We want to take some time and shout them out as well. Another one is at Nicole Moves. At Nicole Moves, want to shout at Nicole Moves out as well, and give her some love. After the show, I'm going to take some time and educate myself on those two businesses, and we're going to try and see if we can't show them some love some way somehow, and try to support them in their journey. So we're at the point in this show. We got about 3 minutes left, Matt. I usually wrap up with my final thoughts, but I want you to wrap up first with your final thoughts on the show, and what they say, just how it's feeling at the time, just how you feeling at the time.
Oh, definitely. I personally feel blessed and grateful for the opportunity to even have a platform to share my thoughts, knowledge, and experiences. I truly hope that we were able to help a couple of homes throughout the city, and I'm just excited for what's next. You know, our city is in a state of crisis right now, what's going on with our youth, and we're just going to try to continue to find ways to try to help and support them and figure out the answers, even though there's no rule book to this thing called life.
That was good, man. I love what you said about not having a rule book. I want to just talk about the rule book. When you say not having a rule book, there's no blueprint to this. There's no blueprint to how to live life. You have examples of people that have lived it before you, or living it with you, and people you can see living it as youth. And the goal in the end is to make sure you leave whatever space you're leaving better than you found it. I charge everyone to throw the rule book out and just focus on leaving the space better than you found it. They always said to me as a child, make your bed up. If you make your bed up, you've accomplished one thing today. And you left the space better than you found it. So everybody, make up your bed today. Leave your space better than you found it. And leave a lasting impression on someone you love. Thank you so much for listening today, guys. Looking forward to coming to you again. Have a great month. Have a great day. And as always, we got to tell the DJ to drop that beat.